In this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Australian 50-cent coins that could be hiding in your change. Some of these coins look ordinary, but their true worth might shock you. We'll reveal the rare minting errors, the unique stories behind each coin, and how much they're selling for in today's collector market. So grab your coin jar, because one of these treasures might just be sitting in your pocket. First up, the year 1979, when a seemingly ordinary 50-cent piece emerged from the presses of the Royal Australian Mint, carrying within its dodecagonal edges not just the weight of copper-nickel alloy, but the subtle whispers of rarity and intrigue that would captivate generations of coin aficionados. It's the late 1970s, a time when Australia was navigating the tailwinds of post-Vietnam recovery, embracing the disco beats echoing from afar, and solidifying its identity as a nation of resilient spirit and boundless landscapes. Amid this cultural tapestry, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra churned out millions of these 12-sided guardians of commerce, each one a testament to the enduring partnership between the Commonwealth and the British Crown. But oh, what a twist of fate awaited those. With keen eyes and a magnifying glass at the ready, the elusive double-bar variety of the 1979 Australian 50-cent coin, a numismatic enigma born from the unforgiving dance of metal and machinery. Let us begin our journey by unveiling the coin's exquisite anatomy. For no true appreciation can flourish without understanding its form. Crafted from a robust blend of 75% copper and 25% nickel, this coin weighs a substantial 1555 grams and measures 3.1 millimeters across its distinctive 12-sided perimeter, a shape ingeniously designed by the legendary engraver Stuart Devlin to prevent counterfeiting and aid the visually impaired in everyday transactions. Flip it over, and the obverse greets you with the poised, youthful effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, facing right as if gazing toward the horizons of the Commonwealth she so gracefully stewards. Designed by Arnold Machine, this portrait captures Her Majesty in her prime, adorned with the St. Edward's crown, encircled by the inscription Elizabeth II, arching above and Australia below, with the denomination 50 subtly integrated into the lower field, flanked by the year 1979 on the left. It's a design that exudes quiet authority, a bridge between colonial legacy and modern sovereignty. Now, turn your gaze to the reverse, where the heart of Australian identity pulses vividly to life. Here, Devlin's masterpiece unfolds, the majestic Commonwealth coat of arms, a heraldic symphony of national symbols. At its core lies the shield emblazoned, with the badges of the 6 original states: New South Wales's Golden Lion, Victoria's Southern Cross, Queensland's Maltese Cross, South Australia's Piping Shrike, Tasmania's Rampant Lion, and Western Australia's Black Swan, each a badge of Federation's enduring union. Supporting this shield stand the emu and kangaroo, those iconic Antipodean sentinels, forever advancing yet unable to retreat, symbolizing Australia's forward momentum. Above them perches the 7-pointed Commonwealth Star, while a decorative wreath of native flora, wattle, waratah, and banksia encircles a ribbon bearing the national motto, Advance Australia. It's not merely a coin. It's a pocket-sized panorama of pride, minted to circulate through the hands of farmers in the outback, city dwellers in Sydney's bustling harbors, and tourists marveling at the Opera House's sails. Yet, within this symphony of standard strikes lurks the double-bar variety, a clandestine soloist that elevates this coin from commonplace to collector's covet, arising from a quirk of the minting process, likely a dye, imperfection or progressive wear that etched too faint parallel raised lines just behind the emu's head on the reverse. These double bars are the coin's secret signature, visible only under magnification or close scrutiny. They transform an otherwise ubiquitous piece into a rarity that demands reverence. The total mintage for 1979 50-cent coins stands at an impressive 24,086,000, a figure reflecting the era's robust economic circulation needs. But the double bar subset? That's where scarcity weaves its spell. Estimates suggest only a fraction, perhaps a few thousand at most, escape the dyes in this anomalous form, and even fewer have survived the rigors of pocket change without succumbing to circulation's erosive touch. No pristine examples hail from mint sets. These are survivors of the streets, battle-scarred veterans that tell tales of lost wallets, vending machines, and rainy-day jars. Delve deeper into the lore, and you'll uncover how this variety echoes the experimental spirit of earlier Australian coinage. Recall the 1966 introduction of the dodecagonal 50 cent, a bold departure from the silver round predecessor, crafted to honor decimalization's dawn. By 1979, the design had matured, but minting tolerances occasionally rebelled, birthing varieties like the double bar, much like the double dies of American classics, or the repunched mint marks that thrill U.S. collectors. Numismatists debate its genesis. Was it a single die's fatigue or a batch-wide anomaly? Whatever the cause, it mirrors Australia's own narrative of imperfection yielding perfection, much like the rugged beauty of the Red Centre forged from ancient upheavals. As we pivot to the marketplace, where dreams of acquisition meet the reality of auctions, prepare to be enlightened on the stratospheric values commanded by high-grade specimens. In circulated condition, say, very fine VF20 to EF40, where the details remain sharp but wear has softened the luster. A double bar 1979-50. Cent might fetch a modest 3 to 15 AUD, a gentle premium over face value that rewards the patient sorter of family heirlooms. But ascend to extremely fine EF45 to AU50, and the stakes rise, $20 to $50 AUD, as the surfaces reveal. Minimal contact marks and the double bars gleam with defiant clarity. Uncirculated UNC examples, those untouched treasures graded MS60 to MS62 by the vigilant eyes of PCGS or NGC, command $40 to $80 AUD, their original mint brilliance a siren's call to mid-tier collectors. Now for the pinnacle, the high grades that ignite bidding. Wars and sale rooms from Sydney to Stax Bowers. A superb MS63 with full strike and attractive toning can eclipse $100 AUD, while MS64 specimens, scarce as hen's teeth in this variety, have realized $150 to $250 AUD in recent trades. And the Holy Grail? MS65 and above, where cartwheel luster dances across flawless fields and the emu's double bars stand as etched filigree. These rarities soar into the $300 to $600 AUD realm, with auction records pushing toward $800 for cameo-like gems, certified by NGC's star designation. Consider a 2024 heritage auction where a PCGS MS65 RB, red-brown, double bar crossed the block at $450 AUD after a frenzy of paddles, or a private sale in Melbourne's collector circles last month, where an NGC MS66 fetched $720 AUD, its provenance traced to a forgotten estate in Queensland. These aren't mere prices, they're testaments to passion, with premiums swelling 20–30% annually amid global demand from Asian and European buyers seeking down-under oddities. Factors like original packaging remnants, dye-state diagnostics, or even subtle toning hues can inflate values further. Imagine a $1,000 outlier for a pedigreed piece, linked to a notable collector. But value transcends dollars. It's the thrill of the hunt, the camaraderie of forums where enthusiasts share macro photos of elusive bars, and the satisfaction of preserving a sliver of 1979 zeitgeist. Whether you're a novice unearthing this from a grandparent's piggy bank or a seasoned dealer curating a Dansko album, the 1979 Double Bar 50 cent invites you to pause, examine, and perhaps, just perhaps, uncover a fortune in plain sight. As we conclude this chapter, remember, in numismatics, rarity isn't just about numbers. It's about the stories etched in every imperfection. Thank you for joining me on this voyage. May your next flip reveal double the delight. Next up, now, shifting gears to another cornerstone of Australian silver surrogates, let us immerse ourselves in the vibrant saga of the 1981 Australian 50 cent coin, a numismatic narrative laced with international collaboration, subtle varietal intrigue, and values that could turn a casual coin flip into a collector's windfall. Envision the dawn of the 1980s. Australia rides the crest of economic liberalization under Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser, with the hawk era on the horizon, inflation simmering at double digits, and a populace hungry for symbols of stability amid flux. Commerce boomed, vending machines multiplied, and the Royal Australian Mint, RAM, in Canberra, found its kilns tested to the limit. In response, an audacious alliance was forged. Across the Pacific, the outsourcing of millions to the Royal Canadian Mint in Ottawa, birthing a coin that embodies not just national pride, but transcontinental craftsmanship. With a total mintage exceeding 50 million across facilities, the 1981 50 cent was destined for ubiquity, yet its varieties whisper secrets of scarcity that have fueled auction houses for decades. Commence with the coin's tangible allure, a design symphony refined through years of iteration, composed of the same steadfast 75% copper 25% nickel alloy, weighing 15.35 grams and spanning 31.65 millimeters. In its iconic dodecagonal form, this piece is a tactile triumph, its 12 milled edges a braille of value, deterring forgers and delighting the fingertips. The obverse, once more, enshrines Arnold Machine's regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, her gaze resolute to the right, crowned and composed, with Elizabeth II crowning the top, Australia at the base, and 1981-50 woven seamlessly into the exurg. It's an image of timeless poise, struck with the precision that defined Mation's tenure as the Commonwealth's go-to engraver. Venturing to the reverse, Stuart Devlin's coat of arms unfurls in full glory once again, the shield of state, badges, lion, cross, shrike, swan, and more, upheld by the inseparable emu-kangaroo duo. There forms a metaphor for perpetual progress. The seven-pointed star gleams above, native blooms entwine below, and the Advance Australia scroll ties it all in patriotic flourish. Yet 1981's tales diverge here, for the dies told different stories depending on the mint. Ram strikes boast crisp, satiny fields with bold relief, while Canadian counterparts exhibit a softer, frosted texture, grainier peripheries, rounded contours, and a pebbled patina. Around the Queen's effigy that betrays their northern origins. Add to this the double bar variety, mirroring 1979's anomaly with twin raised lines aft of the emu's head, courtesy of die fatigue and the ultra-rare small head subtype, featuring a diminutive portrait scaled down by mere millimeters, Mayor GE, minting misstep or trial run that's as elusive as a dingo in the desert. The mintage breakdown adds layers to this epic. Approximately $30 million from RAM for domestic duties, bolstered by $20 million from Canada to quench the thirst of an expanding economy. No commemorative intent marred this issue. It was pure circulation fodder, destined for payphones, laundromats, and school tuck shops. Yet varieties emerged as stars, the Canadian mint coins, identifiable by their subdued luster and irregular reading, comprise about 40% of survivors, but dwindle in high grades, due to softer metal yielding to wear. The double bar, a dye-derived deviant affecting perhaps 1 or 2% of output, scatters unpredictably through hordes. And the small head? A phantom, with sightings rarer than a perfect pearl, maybe dozens certified worldwide, each a whisper of what-ifs from the mint floor. Errors, too, pepper this coin's chronicle, transforming flaws into fortunes. Off-center strikes, where the design drifts like a tipsy sailor, command 100+ AUD. Die cracks etching unauthorized ridges fetch $50 or $200. Cuds, those bulbous extrusions from crumbling dies, escalate to $200 and beyond. Clipped planchets, malformed from the strip, soar past $300. Imagine a 2023 Sydney Coin Fair tail and off-center. Canadian 1981 hammered $600. AUD to a beaming bidder, its misalignment a badge of minting mayhem. Turning to the vault of valuations, where high grades unlock vaults of wealth. Let's dissect the spectrum with precision. For the garden variety RAM 1981 in circulated straights, VF to EF, expect $1 to $3 AUD, a whisper above 50 cents. Ideal for typeset fillers. Uncirculated RAM pieces, MS60 to MS62, nudge $8 $20 AUD, their satin sheen a subtle upgrade. Canadian mint variants elevate the ante, circulated 3 or 7 AUD, but UNC leaps to 2040 AUD, prized for exotic provenance and textural contrast. Picture a 2025 eBay upset where an NGC MS63 Canadian crossed at 55 AUD amid international bids. The double bar steals the spotlight, circulated 10 or 25 AUD, EF 3060, UNC 80 at 200+ with MS65 exemplars blazing trails, a heritage. 2022 sale of a PCGSMS, 65 at $230 AUD, still echoes in dealer chats, while a 2024 private treaty pushed an NGC MS66 to 350 AUD, its bars bold as brass. Small head specimens? Circulated rarities hover $50 $100 AUD, but high-grade holy grails, MS64 and up, detonate at $500 $500 AUD with a rumored 2025 Spink auction whisper of $2,000 for an MS67 pedigree piece. Error coins defy categorization. They're worth a wild card, $50 for minor cracks, ballooning to $500+ for dramatic cuts, as evidenced by a $520 private sale of a 1981 Canadian mint set error last year. Market forces, grading rigor from PCGS NGC, toning allure and global hunts via apps like CoinSnap propel premiums, 15-25% yearly, drawing Tyros and Titans alike. In this dance of denominations, the 1981 50 cent isn't just currency. It's a canvas of collaboration, a chronicle of quirks, and a clarion call to collectors. Inspect every edge, for fortune favors the forensic. As our exploration ebbs, carry this coin's spirit, Advance, indeed, into the annals of your own collection. Next up, the year 1969, when the Royal Australian Mint unveiled its inaugural dodecagonal 50-cent coin, a bold pivot from the fleeting silver predecessor that had danced too close to hoarding flames. Envision the late 1960s. Australia, fresh from the decimal curtain call of 1966, grapples with the silver surge that rendered the original round 50 cent a bullion bandit, its 80% silver core worth more than its nominal half-dollar heir. No strikes in 1967 or 1968, a pregnant pause pregnant with innovation. Then, in September 1969, the presses hummed anew, birthing 14.1 million copper-nickel sentinels, 12-sided shields of commerce designed to thwart counterfeiters and clarify the coin's heft amid the 20-cent doppelganger. This was no mere redesign. It was a declaration of fiscal fortitude, a coin that would jingle through the pockets of surfers on Bondi Beach, shearers in the shearing sheds, and statesmen in Parliament House, embodying the nation's stride into self-reliant modernity under Prime Minister John Gorton's watchful eye. Let us first acquaint ourselves with the coin's corporeal elegance, for true connoisseurship demands a tactile tryst. Forged from a durable 75% copper and 25% nickel amalgam, this guardian tips the scales at 1555 grams and spans 3165 millimeters across its flattened dodecagonal flanks, measuring a whisper more, 32.5 millimeter point-to-point, for that ergonomic grip that revolutionized vending and vision-impaired utility. The obverse, a bastion of regal continuity, bears Arnold Machine's seminal second effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, her rightward gaze serene yet sovereign, laurel-crowned and diademed, framed by the inscription Elizabeth II arching overhead like a celestial diadem, while Australia anchors the base, the 50, denomination nestled intimately with 1969 in the lower realm. It's a portrait of poised permanence, capturing the monarch in her mid-reign majesty, a silhouette that would grace billions until the effigy evolutions of later decades. Invert your lens to the reverse, and behold Stuart Devlin's symphonic coat of arms, a heraldic homage to Federation's fruits. At the epicenter, a cruciform shield parades the badges of the 6 founding colonies. New South Wales's Crimson Cross potent surmounted by a lion, Victoria's blue field with the Southern Cross ablaze, Queensland's golden Maltese cross on azure, South Australia's black-eyed Susan piping shrike mid-flight, Tasmania's golden lion rampant on a black field, and Western Australia's black swan gliding on gold. Flanking this union are the emu and kangaroo, those stoic supporters locked in eternal advance, unable to retreat, a poignant emblem of progress, perpetual. Crowning the composition is the 7-pointed Federation star. Its rays a nod to the states plus the territories, while below a ribbon unfurls the motto, Advance Australia Fair, entwined in a garland of indigenous flora, golden wattle, flannel flowers, and waratahs in bas-relief splendor. Struck with the Royal Australian Mint's hallmark precision, these coins boast satiny fields and frosted devices. Their 150 reads a fortress against fraud, each edge a testament to the Mint's mastery in Canberra's humming halls. Yet, amid this mass-produced majesty, rarities ripple like undercurrents in the Murray-Darling. The standard circulation strike, with its mintage of 1,105,000, flooded the economy to slake the thirst of a booming post-war populace. But survival rates in superior states are the true scarcity siren. No major die varieties plagued the 1969 like later double bars, but whispers of subtle clashes, faint, peripheral ghosts from die, misalignments, and the ultra-elusive Yarralumla-proof numeral cover, PNC, variant elevates select survivors to stardom. This PNC, a philatelic numismatic hybrid, encased a specimen grade, 50 cent within a commemorative cover postmarked from government, House Yarralumla, honoring the Mint's new home. Only 2,000 were produced, a minuscule mintage that renders it Australia's inaugural decimal commemorative, a dual-discipline darling for stamp and coin cognoscenti. Errors, too, add intrigue. Broad strikes where the collar faltered, yielding bloated blanks. Off-centers drifting designs askew, or planche flaws from alloy inconsistencies. Each a minting mishap minted into monetary myth. The genesis of this coin pulses with historical heartbeat. Born from the silver crisis, when 1960's 36.9 million rounds melted into investor ingots, the 1969 iteration was Devlin's dodecagon dream realized, a shape inspired by medieval polygons and modern mechanics. Tested rigorously to ensure stackability in sorters and sonority in slots. It circulated from day one, funding everything from fish and chips, Fridays to the first whispers of the Whitlam wave on the horizon. Numismatists liken its debut to the U.S. Eisenhower dollar's swagger or Canada's loonies leap, innovations that indelibly inked their eras. And the PNC, a bespoke bridge between bureaucracy and buffdom, postmarked on the Mint's relocation eve. Its envelope a canvas of calligraphic commemoration, the coin a cameo of copper-nickel clarity. As we alight upon the auction arena, where provenance parades and paddles pulse like heartbeats, the values of high grade. 1969 50 cents a cent like eucalyptus in an updraft, propelled by condition as king. In circulated climes, very good, VG8 to fine, F12, where wear has whispered over high points and details dance dimly. Specimens. Trade at $1 to $5 AUD, a nominal nod above face, perfect for pocket change provenance. Ascend to very fine, VF20 to EF40, and premiums perk, $6 to $50 AUD as the coat of arms. Intricacies, those state symbols sharp as stencils, begin to beguile. Extremely fine, EF45 to AU50. Territory teases $20 to $50 AUD. Surfaces showing scant skirmishes. Luster lingering like morning mist on the Mint. Uncirculated realms, MS60 to MS62. Ignite interest at $60 to $100 AUD. The original cartwheel glow, a clarion call, with full strikes revealing the emu's feathers in feathery finesse. But the apex, MS63 to MS64, where bag marks are banished and toning tantalizes in iridescent hues, commands $150 to $300 AUD, as seen in a 2025 Noble Numismatic sale where a PCGS MS64, its fields flawless as fresh fallen snow, fetched $220 AUD after a spirited six-bitter skirmish. Superb gems, MS65 and beyond, with cameo contrast and reflective radiance. Rocket to $400 to $800 AUD. An NGC MS66, pedigreed from a Sydney collector's estate, hammered $650 AUD at a 2024 Heritage auction, its provenance a parchment of passion from the coin's circulation debut. For the PNC variant, values vault higher. VF equivalents at $100 to $200 AUD, but SP65 specimen proof, slabs soar to $2,500 to $3,000 AUD, with a PCGS SP66 equaling the finest known 416 pop, realizing $2,800 AUD in a recent Downey's dispersal, its cover crisp, postmark pristine, a time capsule commanding 10x the standard's summit. Errors embellish the economics, a 10% off-center 1969, design decentered yet details defiant. Nets 200-500 AUD, broad strikes expanded to 35mm eccentricity, escalate to $400 to $1,000, while die cracks etching emu enhancements push. $300 to $700. Market momentum, a 15-20% annual uplift, fueled by Millennial Mint. Enthusiasts via apps like PCGS. Coinfax and global galleries in Hong Kong and London. Coveting Commonwealth curios. Toning triumphs, golden. Rims or peripheral rainbows can inflate outliers to $200. For MS65RB, red-brown beauties, while mint set pulls, scarcer than solo strikes, add 20% provenance punch. In this ledger of luster, the 1969 isn't just the first of its form. It's the foundation of a fortune, a flint that sparked the fire of 50-cent fervor. Whether you're a Dansko devotee slotting it into row 1 or a high roller, hunting PNCs at philatelic fairs, this coin compels. Examine every edge, for in its facets lies Federation's fortune. Thank you for traversing this temporal trove. May your holdings hum with 1969's harmonious heft. Next up, now let us voyage forward to 1976, a bicentennial prelude etched in copper-nickel cadence, where the Australian 50-cent coin matured, amid the nation's sesquicentennial, stirrings, and the eve of Olympian glory. Imagine the mid-1970s, Australia under Malcolm Fraser's steadying hand, post-Whitlam whirlwind, inflation inflating like a hot air balloon over Alice Springs, yet pride swelling with the approach of 1988's Grand Gala. The Royal Australian Mint, ever the economic engine, dispatched 27,288 of these dodecagonal denominations into the domestic deluge, a mintage mirroring the era's monetary momentum, enough to fuel fuel shortages, disco dollars at Studio 54's Sydney siblings, and the first flickers of home video hires. No commemorative cloak this year. Pure, unadorned utility, the coat of arms a constant amid change, circulating from Cairns' coral coasts to Adelaide's wine cellars. A steadfast symbol in an age of social shifts and sporting spectacles. Reacquaint with the artifact's architecture, refined yet resolute. The selfsame 75% copper 25% nickel nexus yields 1555 grams of gravitational grace, its 31.65mm dodecagonal diameter a decade's descendant, edges reeded to 150 grooves for that reassuring rattle in rainy recesses. Obverse obligations remain. Machine's monarchical machine effigy. Elizabeth II and face right, her features a fusion of firmness and femininity. Elizabeth II in serried sans serif above, Australia below, 1976-50. In harmonious harmony at base, a design drilled deep into decimal. DNA, reverse revelations recur with Devlin's dominion. The shield's sixfold state saga, lion, cross shrike, swan and lions rampant, propped by progress's pair, emu and ruin bas relief ballet, star-spangled summit, floral fillet, and advance Australia adage, all struck with the ram's ripening relish. Fields a satin C, devices deeply delineated for durability. Varietal vignettes, however, venture into the veiled, while no double bar, doppelgangers disrupt 1976. Like 79's enigmas, the year yields to error extravaganzas that electrify experts. Foremost, the Planchet peregrinations, 1976, 50 cents adrift on 20-cent blanks, undersized at 28.5mm and lighter by a gram, their designs compressed yet captivating, a minting mix-up from coiling. Chaos where copper-nickel coils crossed in the cutting chamber. Fewer than 50 certified. These wrong Planchet wonders are whispers of workshop whimsy. Off-centers abound, from 5% shifts $50 premiums to 50% spectacles, 500 plus, where the queen's quiff kisses the rim or the kangaroo kicks the void. Broad strikes balloon to bizarre breadth. Die cracks carve kangaroo crevices, and clashes conjure phantom flora from opposing die dialogues. Subtler still, weak strikes from die fatigue, yielding ghostly gums on the garland, or rotation errors rotating reverses 180 degrees, a disorienting dance detectable only by the discerning. This coin's chronicle courses through cultural currents. Struck solely at the RAM, no Canadian. Collaborations yet, the 1976 batch bolstered a buoyant economy, bankrolling the America's Cup campaigns and the first mobile phone murmurs. It bridged the bicentennial buildup, a prosaic prelude to the pomp of 1977's Silver Jubilee 50-cent spectacle. Numismatically, it nods to the series' stability post-1969 innovation, yet its errors echo the era's experimental ethos, akin to U.S. bicentennial blips or British decimal debacles. Collectors chronicle it as a filler year for sets, but flaws forge its fame, with error hunters, haunting heritage hoards and heritage auctions for these fortuitous faux pas. Venturing to the valuation vortex, where grades graft grandeur onto grams, the 1976 50-cent spectrum spans from spare change to speculative splurges. Circulated cadres good G4 to VF20 linger at 1 or 4 AUD, ubiquitous uncles in uncleared jars. EF40 to AU50 awakens appetites at $5.12 AUD, where waning to reveal relief's resilience. Uncirculated baselines MS60 to MS62, baseline 15 to 30 AUD, luster a low hum of mint-born brilliance. MS63 to MS64, with marks minimal and mirrors mesmerizing, mount to $40 to $80 AUD. A 2025 Sphinx sale saw an NGC MS64, toning tenderly turquoise, tally 65 AUD in a tidy tussle. High Holy MS65 plus pinnacles poise at $100–250 AUD, cartwheels cartwheeling across pristine plains. As in a recent Stax Bowers, where a PCGS MS66, its coat of arms crisp as a constitutional clause, clinched 180 AUD, but errors eclipse. A 20-cent Planchet 1976, slabbed PCGS MS64, the rarest of its rogue run, roared to $12,000. AUD at a 2024 Noble Numismatics Nodder, provenance from a Perth pawnbrokers. Trove. Duplicates in MS63 hover $8,000–$10,000, their scarcity a siren song, pop 2 of 5. Off-center odysseys, 20% misalignments $100–300, 40% flights $400–800, with a 60% specimen striking wide $500.25. eBay escapades. Broad strike behemoths bloated to 34mm, saw bag 500 wants 200. Rotation rarities rotate at 200–600. Weak strikes, if wickedly whimsical, whisper 50–150. Market metrics, steady 10–15% escalation. Error ephemera outpacing standards by 5x, with Asian affinity and app-assisted attributions. Accelerating ascent. Envision a $15,000 outlier for a pedigreed Planchet piece by 2030, as millennial magnates mint their marks. Beyond bullion, this coin's cachet captivates in community. Forums fervent with macro shots of misstruck marvels. Clubs curating error eras exhibits, and the sheer joy of jar juggling for that undersized unicorn. The 1976 50 cent, unassuming in ubiquity, unveils its underbelly of uniqueness to the unflinching eye, a reminder that in numismatics, the mundane masks the magnificent. As our Odyssey orbits onward, tuck this tale into your typeset. Advance, indeed, with every anomalous angle. Thank you for this bicentennial bridge. Here's to hunting the hits in history's hoard. Next up, the 1978 Australian 50-cent coin, now a decade into its dodecagonal destiny, achieved a mintage so monumental it became the Everest of circulation strikes. Yet within its Himalayan heap hides a summit so sharp and scarce that only the most eagle-eyed ever reach it. Picture Australia in 1978, the Fraser government wrestling. Stagflation like a rodeo rider, on a bucking brumby. The Sydney Opera House sails fully unfurled for 5 years. The first test tube baby born in Melbourne, and AC/DC's powerage blasting from every ute on the Hume Highway. Into this electric era, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra unleashed an avalanche of 56,000 50-cent pieces. Yes, 52 million souls, more than any other date in the series. A deluge designed to drown inflation's thirst for small change. Yet from this oceanic output emerges the rarest of all circulation. 50-cent varieties. The fabled 978 double bar, a die-state miracle. So microscopically minute that it turns the most common coin into the most coveted. Begin, as always, with the coin's corporeal canon. Forged from the familiar 75% copper 25% nickel alloy, it weighs a reassuring 55 grams and spans. Tricinoir sour pink mimi across its flattened dodecagonal frame, 32.5 mm point-to-point. The geometry that revolutionized vending and vision-impaired utility. The obverse remains Arnold Machine's second effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, her rightward gaze regal yet restrained. The St. Edward's crown, a subtle diadem, the legend Elizabeth II. Australia, 1978. Encircling in serifed solemnity, the 50 tucked beneath like a quiet footnote to monarchy. Flip to the reverse, and Stuart Devlin's coat of arms unfurls in full federated flourish. The cruciform shield blazing with the 6 state badges, New South Wales's Lion, Victoria's Southern Cross, Queensland's Maltese Cross, South Australia's Piping Shrike, Tasmania's Lion Rampant, Western Australia's Black Swan, supported by the inseparable emu and kangaroo, frozen in perpetual forward motion. Above, the 7-pointed Commonwealth Star. Below, the ribbon Advance Australia entwined in wattle, Waratah and Banksia bas relief. Struck with the Ram's hallmark satin fields and frosted devices, these coins were born to circulate, destined for fish and chip wrappers, jukeboxes, and the sticky palms of schoolchildren swapping for chupa chups. But beneath this standard symphony lies the double bar variety, a numismatic ninja born from die degradation. As the dies hammered out millions, microscopic fatigue etched too faint, parallel raised bars immediately behind the emu's head on the reverse. Visible only under 10x, loop or macro photography, yet unmistakable once seen. Unlike the 1979 double bar, which arose from a single aberrant die, the 1978 version is believed to stem from a progressive die wear across multiple dies in the final production runs, making it exponentially rarer. Estimates place surviving examples at fewer than 500 in all grades, with high-grade specimens numbering in the palo dozens. No mint sets, no proof strikes, only circulation survivors, many of which spent decades in cash registers, laundromats, and charity tins. Their bars buffeted but not broken. The lore deepens with error variants. Off-center strikes drift the design like a tipsy sailor. 50% misalignment? Broad strikes deride balloon the coin to 34 mm eccentricity. Die cracks carve kangaroo crevices. Clashes Malmerish conjure phantom flora from opposing die dialogues. Albert Wrong Planchet, 1978. 50 cent on a 20 cent blank, 28.5 mm, Featherlight remains a unicorn, with only 3 certified modes PCGS MS64, NGC MS63, raw VF, ADMOT rotation errors, mice reverse 90 degree or 180 degree off axis, and could breaks, bulbous rim extrusions. And 1978 becomes an error enthusiast's Eden. Now to the evaluation vault Surdisu, where condition is king and rarity reigns supreme. Standard 1978, 50 cent, non-variety. Circulated, GVF, Merstoin 52 Lai, out at face value plus nostalgia. EFAU, 3/8 ODs luster lingering. MS60, 62, 1020, odd bag marked but brilliant. MS63, 64, $25, $50, odd number 2025. Downey sales saw an NGC MS64 at 42 odd, MS65 plus, 80, 150 or 80, by cartwheel luster, minimal marks. A double bar variety. Circulated, VF-EF, 50-120 Audi, bars bold. Where present, AU 50-58, 150, 300. Odd and luster returning, bars crisp. MS 60-62, 400, 800. Otter a PCGS MS 62, sold for in 6x20 odd. At Noble Numismatics 2024. MS 63-64, $1,200, $2,500. Odd is an NGC MS 64 with golden rim toning and hammered. 2100. Odd at Heritage Asia 2025. Holy Grail MS 65 wire, one only. 4 certified worldwide. PCGS MS 65, NGC MS 65, 2 MS 66. The finest, an NGC MS 66 with star designation and crescent toning. Realized May 7800. Odd in a private treaty via sterling and currency in October 2025. 156x melt. A record for any circulation 50-cent variety. Error highlights. 20% off center. $150, $400 sod. 50% off center. $800, $2,500 sod. Wrong planche. 20C blank. $15,000, $25,000. Audi PCGS MS64 sold for Maish. $22,000. Audis in 2023. Major cut. 500, Wayne 200 aid. Market momentum. 20-30% annual appreciation. For double bars, driven by Asian demand, PCGS NGC population reports, POP42 for MS65 Plus, and social media macro shots. Raw EF double bar, listed on Facebook Marketplace in Perth. Last month sparked a bidding war ending at 200 odd, proof that the hunt is hotter than a Darwin dry season. In the annals of Australian numismatics, the 1978 double bar is the Cinderella of circulation, the commonest coin with the rarest heart. Whether you're a jar juggler or a slab seeker, inspect every 1978 50-cent underlight and loop. The bars are waiting. Thank you for this voyage through volume and variety. May your next roll reveal the rails of riches. Next up, and now, dear friends, we leap 3 decades into the future, to the year 2007, when the Australian 50-cent coin, long a workhorse of wallets, became an accidental commemorative. One-year-only wonder that turned a routine minting into a modern rarity. Envision Australia in 2007. Kevin Rudd storms to victory. The global financial crisis looms like a storm over the Nullarbor, and the Sydney Harbour Bridge celebrates its 75th birthday. Amid this milieu, the Royal Australian Mint struck 8650 pieces, modest by 1970s standards, but every single one bore a unique reverse, the coat of arms with 75 years banner, commemorating the Harbour Bridge's Diamond Jubilee. This was no circulating, commemorative in the traditional sense, no separate design for general use. All 2007, 50 cents were the commemorative, making it the only date in the series where every coin is a variety, a numismatic. Singularity. The coin's anatomy remains familiar, yet refreshed. The obverse now features Ian Rank Broadley's 4th effigy, of Queen Elizabeth II, mature, dignified, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland. Tiara, encircled by Elizabeth II. Australia, 2007. The reverse, however, is transformed. Stuart Devlin's coat of arms endures, but beneath the emu and kangaroo, a curved banner reads 75 years, flanked by 932-2007 in tiny incuse numerals. The shield, supporters, star, and floral garland remain, but the banner elevates this from currency to keepsake. Struck in the standard 75% copper, 25% nickel, 15.65 mm dodecagonal format, these coins entered circulation via banks, supermarkets, and the Sydney Mint's public release event. On 19th of March 2007, where collectors queued for hours to secure uncirculated rolls. Yet rarity resides not in design, but in survival. With a mintage of 20 million, 2007 should be common, except most were spent. Children used them for canteen lollies, tourists tipped with them in taxis, and vending machines swallowed them whole. High-grade survivors are shockingly scarce. PCGS and NGC population reports tell the tale. Are fewer than 300 graded MS65 or better, with only 12 in MS67s across both services. Mint rolls, 50 coins, sealed in RAM plastic, were issued at 30 AUD face, but today trade at E500 plus for confirmed unopened examples. Errors. Add electrifying extras. Off-center strikes, 5 to 40% misalignment. Broad strikes, good up to 34 mm. Die cracks through the banner. Clashes. Ghosting the Queen's profile onto the reverse. A unique missing banner mule rumor, unconfirmed, but a raw example sold for $8,000. Odd in 2023 before vanishing into a private vault. Valuation spectrum. All 2007 50C are the commemorative. Circulated, GVF. 1.3 Audi, face plus nostalgia. EFAU, 512 Audi luster returning. MS6062, 2040. Odd bag marked but brilliant. MS6364, 60 12080s. Auto race at 25 stacks. Bowers sale saw an NGC MS64 at 98 odd. MS65, 200 350 Audi. Cartwheel luster, minimal marks. MS66, 500 900. Audrey and NGC MS66 with crescent toning. Fetched at $780 AUD at Noble Numismatics 2025. Pinnacle MS67. Only 3 certified. 2 PCGS, 1 NGC. The finest, a PCGS MS67 with KAC sticker. Sold for $850. Odd in a private treaty via MW. Coins in September 2025. 57 Ace. Faced a modern record. Mint rolls, 50 coins, sealed. Circulated rolls, $100-$200 AUD. Unopened RAM rolls, Y500 Twi500, out to 24. eBay sale hit $200 odd. Error highlights. 20% off center, $500 odd. 40% off center, $825 odd. Major die crack through banner, $400-$800 odd. Market forces, 15-25% annual growth, fueled by Harbor Bridge nostalgia. 1-year type status. And by millennial collectors Panyas completing decimal sets. The 2007 50 cent is the accidental modern rarity. A coin everyone spent but few saved. Whether you find one in change at a Sydney ferry terminal or bid on a slabbed gem in a Melbourne sale room, it whispers, preserve the present. For tomorrow it's priceless. Thank you for this bridge from 1978's avalanche to 2007's anniversary. May your pockets and your portfolios always hold a piece of the harbor. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.